Today we are going to discuss about research onion, which was proposed by Saunders and others in 2009. They talk about there are 6 layers of research. The outermost layer is the research philosophy, like epistemology, ontology, axiology. And then there are second layer, this is about the positivism, realism, interpretism, objectivism, constructivism, or pragmatism. So these are the different approaches that we are using for arriving at our research. And then third layer is the deductive or inductive method that we use for arriving at some conclusions or to prove some hypothesis. And then there are methods which are used like experiment, survey, case studies, action, grounded theory, ethnography, archival research, and then the methods are further decided by like mono method when we use single method, mixed method, and multi method. Sometimes we use multiple methods in a single research. Then the research can be done based on the cross-sectional study or longitudinal study. And finally, data collection and data analysis is done to present what are our findings and research outcomes. So outside layer of the onion is the research onion is based on the 3 philosophies of ontology, epistemology, axiology. So what is ontology? Ontology is the philosophy which is concerned with the nature of the reality. It requires researchers to ask themselves how they think the world operates, how society is constructed, and how this influences everything around us. Ontology talks about difference between reality or perception of reality and how this influences people's behavior. There are 3 philosophical positions commonly agreed to work under a ontological overview. These are objectivism, when we think everything in an objective form; constructivism, where we have to understand how the social construct is created or social ideas are created; pragmatism is based on the how we think beyond what is being seen; and epistemology. So, what is epistemology? Epistemology is concerned with addressing the facts by asking what is the acceptable knowledge. It asks you to define what is acceptable knowledge about your field of research, what information is known to be true due to rigorous testing and treating as a fact. This philosophy is most commonly used in scientific research is it searches for facts and information that can be proved without doubt rather than changeable situation and opinions. Third is axiology. Axiology allows the researchers to understand and recognize the role their values and opinion play in the collection and analysis of the research, as opposed to eliminating or trying to balance the influence of it. For example, if the researcher is a vegetarian and they are researching the availability and ranges of vegetarian food in a hotel, this must be declared in their research. How this shapes your investigation of the issue and how you analyze the results will need to be detailed and analyzed in different ways according to the approach you choose. So based on the different approaches, it might be different. If you have a different political or religious view, then it will be a different research. So the first layer of the onion is the philosophical stances associated with the philosophy. The possible choices at this level requires careful thought as they provide structure, guidance, and possible limitations which might be useful in the research. So these are the objectivism. Objectivism recognizes that social phenomena and their meanings exist separately to social actors. For example, Social phenomena could be heavy rain in social actors or people wanting to have a picnic outside. The rain exists, it is real, and would be acknowledged by the everyone to exist. Therefore, it is independent to the people who have their day out ruined by it. In your research, this may be how the law, the social phenomena impacts on a group of people. So there can be some policies which will be suitable for only particular community, like some reservations or some special policies can be there. Constructivism. Constructivism argues the opposite to objectivism. It is a standpoint that believes social phenomena are actually constructed by social actors. So if you have a constructive ontological overview, you would believe that, for example, a new law is product of the behavior of the group of people it now has an impact on. Like in the case of current situation, the government has enacted women reservation bill. So one group of people can think that the people in the power are those who want to get reservation for the women. They want to get reservation for themselves in the name of women, because if you see the women of the higher classes, they are more educated, so who will be getting the benefit? So the benefit will be indirectly gained by the upper class, not by the lower classes like SC/STs. So this can be a constructive view about a reservation policy. Positivism. Positivism generates hypotheses or research questions that can be tested and allows explanations that are measured against acceptable knowledge of the world we live in. This could be the law of gravity applied to an apple falling from a tree. This position creates a body of research that can be replicated by other researchers to generate the same result. The emphasis is on the quantifiable results that lends themselves to the statistical analysis. Realism. Realism is similar to positivism in its process and belief that social reality and researchers are independent of each other and so will not create biased result. However, where they differs is that realism thinks that scientific methods are not perfect. It believes that all the theory can be revised and that our ability to know the certain what reality is may not exist without continuously researching and leaving our minds open to using new methods of research. Realism may therefore use several types of research methods to triangulate results in their research for a more reliable. Earlier we used to think that material is the lowest unit of any substance like metal or non-metal. Later we discovered there are molecules within the metals. Within molecules, then we discovered there are atoms. Then again, inside atoms, we discovered there are neutron, electron, protons, and even within that, there are energy and other things. So our knowledge keep on changing, the reality keep on changing. With research, we have to find new reality. Interpretism refers to approaches emphasizing the meaningful nature of the people's participation in social and cultural life. Researchers working within this traditional analyze the meaning confer upon their own and other actions and take the view that cultural existence and changes can be understood by understanding in what people think about it, their ideas, and the meaning that are important for them. Pragmatism. Pragmatism argues that both constructivism and objectivism are valid ways to approach. Pragmatism allows researchers to view the topic from either or both points of the view regarding the influence or the role of the social actors and uses them to create a practical approach to research. This may be used to find solutions to the problems. Then comes the second layer of the research. It contains deductive and inductive methods. Decision on this level may be strongly indicated by decisions made at the previous level, or you may need to assess your research aim, your limitations, personal opinion to decide which method will work best for your work or the research. So what is deductive method? Deductive means that you start with a statement or question and your research set out to answer it. The aim would be to conclude with a yes or no response to the question. Questions may be a statement or informed speculations about topic that the researcher believes can be answered. The thought process of deductive moves from theory to the research question, to the data collection, findings, or rejection and confirmation of the research questions. This would lead into a revision of the theory or often start the process over again. Whereas in the inductive process means that you are researching to create theory. The process moves in the opposite direction to the deductive approach, taking its focus from working title of the researcher, not the existing theory. This means the researcher goes from the research question to observation and the description to analysis and finally theory. Therefore, if little research exists on the topic, then an inductive approach may be the best way to proceed. Then third layer of the onion, choices refer to the research style that you will use to collect, analyze data such as ground theory. Each of it has benefits and limitations. This needs to be thought through and explained, and balanced thought should be given. Choices may be more commonly associated with different philosophies and philosophical standpoints. You can choose more than one of these choices to design and collect data as long as this is the decision that can be justified in your written work. Experimental designs are more rigid and scientific in their construction and enables the researcher to be replicated. These designs test the causal effect of the phenomena on a group compared to a control group who are not subjected to any phenomena. The causal effect is independent variable and the dependent variables. The experimental strategies generate data that can be statistically analyzed. Surveys strategy is often associated with deductive approach. It offers the researcher a highly economical way of collecting large number of the data and to address who, what, where, when, and how of any topic to use. Case study method designs involves extensive study of one or more individual or cases of real-life context. To draw clear conclusions about data, it is advised about the number of cases are restricted. The data that is collected may include watching an aspect of their behavior or the sitting interviews with participants and recording their observations. Excel research, this is concerned with addressing issues to find and implement solutions. As a part of the research of the solution to the strategy, the researcher is to be the part of the organization or case study that requires the solution. It allows for collaboration between the topic organization and the researcher. The process of Excel research moves from clear objective to the diagnosis of the problem and generation of a list of actions to solve the problem. These are mostly used in the real life of projects, like in companies when they have some difficulties or problems, then they try to find out how this problem can be solved. Ground theory uses inductive method to predict and explain behaviors or build theory. This starts with the data being collected from observation, theory predictions being generated from the data, and then those predictions are being tested. This strategy, although generating new theory, is still grounded by existing theory and literature on the topic. Ethnography is rooted in the anthropology, which is the study of others from a detached point of view. However, ethnography requires the researcher to be the part of the community or situation they are researching. This may be time consuming for the researcher to achieve full integration into a social scene to experience and document long-term changes in the actions and opinion of a group or social actors. Archival research is a strategy which is trying to collect the data from existing datasets or archival documents. This allows for explanatory, descriptive analysis of the changes tracked over a long period of the time. However, the accuracy and the breadth of the information available may be an issue for the researcher relying solely on the type of the secondary data. Then comes the layer 4 of the onion. Layer 4 in the diagram where you are asked to define how you wish to use the quantitative and qualitative methods in your research. This is the stage where you decide whether you use one or both methods or if you will use them equally or with one or more dominant than other. Quantitative research involves numbers. It is concerned with quantity and measurement. Qualitative research is concerned with rich data such as personal account, opinion, and descriptions. Both methods are very much used in the research. Then there are monomethods. Monomethods research where either qualitative or quantitative data is collected rather than a combination of both. This may be due to the demand of the philosophy, philosophical choices, or a strategy employed. It could be used to research an opposing view of existing monomethod research. Mixed method research is when the researcher uses both quantitative as well as qualitative research methods in the process of their study, data collection, and analysis. Multi-method, this is where the researcher uses both qualitative quantitative data, but the researcher outlook is rooted into only one of them. So both type of data are analyzed from only one point of view. Layer 5 of the onion, this is only two time horizon choices. They are cross-sectional, which is the short-term study, and longitudinal study, which is the long-term study. So cross-sectional designs uses qualitative and quantitative research, and they measures an aspect of behavior of many groups or individuals at a single point of time, while in the longitudinal study are uses qualitative and quantitative data, but the study events and behaviors using concentrated sample over a longer period of time. Then comes the layer 6 of the onion. The final layer of the onion moves the research design further into the practicality of the data collection and analysis. This is where you as a researcher need to decide from all the previous decisions you made what data collection method will work best and what type of analysis you will employ to create the results or answer your research questions. Data collection and analysis. This layer includes decisions or samples group, questionnaires, contents, questions to be asked for the interview. All the decisions and tools employed at this final stage must fit with the philosophies, philosophical stances, strategies, choices, and time horizon already fixed upon in the earlier layers of the research. Thank you for discussion. We will discuss another topic in our next class.